relations with rational expressions. Okay, and so first of all, I've got a statement up here on the board. It says, in order for a radical to be in simplest form, the radicand must contain no factors that are nth powers of an integer or polynomial. Okay, in order for a radical to be in simplest form, the radicand must contain no factors that are nth powers of an integer or a polynomial. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to look at how you simplify like square roots, cube roots, and fourth roots. Maybe if they don't come out even. Okay, and so we're going to use factor trees to do that. Okay, and so let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and look at our first example. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this example here. It says to simplify. So I've got the square root of 32 x to the 8th. Okay, so the square root of 32 x to the 8th. So what I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want to break down this. And so really what I have is I have 32 and I have x to the 8th. Right? And it kind of works to split those up instead of looking at them as one whole term. And so what I'm going to do now is split up 32. And 32 I'm going to split up. I could do 4 and 8. I could also do 2 and 16. Doesn't matter. I'll still get the same result. And then remember, I'm going to break down each of these to where they are as low as they can go. So then now, I am looking for pairs. Why am I looking for pairs of numbers? Because it's a square root and it's a 2 out here. Okay, remember that's implied to be. So I'm looking for pairs, and so here I see a pair of 2's. So that means I'm going to take out 1, 2. I see another pair of 2's. That means I'm going to take out another 2. However, in this case, I don't have another pair of 2's. So that means this 2 stays inside. It doesn't go out. Okay, and so then now x to the 8th. What will that give me? The square root of x to the 8th. X to the 4th, and where will that go? Outside. So really my final answer will be 2 times 2, which is 4, x to the 4th, root 2. Okay? Questions? Let's look at another one. Okay, the square root of 12, c to the 6th, d cubed. Okay, square root of 12, c to the 6th, d cubed. So let's go ahead and split all those up. I think it'll be easier to look at them individually as opposed to collectively. So let's break down root 12. 3 and 4. And then 2 and 2. So what am I looking for? Pairs. Oh, I see a pair of 2, so that's going to go out. Anything else going to go inside?
3.
The root 3. So now I have to think about this. What is the square root of c to the 6th? C cubed. I have an even, odd. So what do I know about the c cubed? Absolute value. Okay, now I have the square root of d cubed. So remember how I told you to divide? Okay, remember how I told you to divide? So if I divide 3 by 2, does that come out evenly? What does it actually give me?
1.5.
1.5, but it gives me 1, right? So that means I can take out 1d. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take out 1d. What's going to be left inside the square root?
Half d2 squared.
The square root of d. Now for those of you wondering how does that work, here's another way we could do this. Isn't that what d cubed means? I can take pairs out. There's your pair. So there's your one that goes out. Here's your one that stays in. Okay? So that's another option that you can look at. Alrighty, so now let's go and simplify. So what do I have outside of the square root?
2.
I have a 2d and then the absolute value of c cubed. And what do I have inside the square root? 3d. So see, these are going to get a little in depth. I'm going to warn you. Okay. So let's go and look at another one. Okay. So I have the 4th root of 16, a to the 24th, b to the 13th. Okay, so first of all, the 4th root of 16. Does anybody know what that is? That's 2. So we don't really need to split that up, all right? What about a to the 24th? What will that give me? A to the 6th. So let's see. Even, even, even. So we don't need absolute values. So now we get b to the 13th. So what is 13 divided by 4? 3 point something. So obviously I know I'm taking 3 out, right? Now I got to figure out how many are left inside the radical. Ideas?
1.
It's either going to be 1, 2, or 3.
1.
Why 1?
Because after you take 3b, there's out of 4.
Right. If I take 4 times 3 here, I get 12. You got 13. Got to have 1 more inside. Okay? So that could be another way that you could view that. That would help. All right, let's look at another one.
The exponent had to be
Cube root of 27, do we know that or do we need to break it down?
3.
3, okay. Y to what power? 4. Now, I have z to the 7th. 7 divided by 3 is 2. So let's figure this out. If I take 3 times 2, how many z's do I have? 6. How many inside do I need? 1. Okay, I think that probably works better to multiply and think about it that way. So far so good? Think you can handle it?
That doesn't get harder.
Okay, we're going to look at some division ones today. Okay.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Now, one of the things we've talked about is that you cannot have radicals in the denominator. So that's going to be our utmost goal, is to get rid of those. So you can't have any square roots in the denominator.
Radical is the square root sign, right?
Yes. Now, if I wanted there to be an even number of y's on the bottom, okay? If I look right now, I have 7, right? What would be the next even number? 8. So really, if I add a y down here, would you agree there's now 8? Okay, so whatever I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. So let's figure out what I have on the top. On the top, I have square root of x to the 6th y. On the bottom, I have square root of what? Y to the 8th. So now let's simplify that down. What is the square root of x to the 6th?
X cubed.
X cubed. What is the square root of y? Just square root of y. Now real quick, even, even, odd, what do you have to have around the x cubes? Absolute values. Okay? What goes in the denominator? Y to the 4th. Even, 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 so you're good to go there. And the radical in the denominator is gone. So your whole goal is to get rid of that radical in the denominator. Okay?
You always want to go to the next even number?
Yes. If it's a square root. If it's a cube root, you have to go to the next one that deals with 3. Okay? So let's look at this one, because this one parallels along the same thing that we just looked at. Square root of a to the 9th over b to the 5th. So we have a to the 9th over b to the 5th. What am I going to have to add in order to get rid of the radical in the denominator? A b. Okay? So on top, I get a to the 9th b. On the bottom, I get b to the what power? 6. Okay, so let's figure out what we can do. Square root of 8 in the ninth. What can you take out? A to the fourth. Because remember, 9 divided by 2 is 8, or is 4. Okay, 4.5. And so now 4 times 2 is 8, so how many A's are inside? 1. Okay, and then a B's inside. What about in the bottom? B to the third. And it needs to be an absolute value, because you've just went even, even, odd. Okay. Alrighty, I think we got one more and then that's it for today. Yep, we got one more. Okay. So here we go. The fourth root of 6 over 5x. So the fourth root of 6 over the fourth root of 5x. So in order to take things out, how many do I have to have if I'm taking the fourth root? I have to have 4, right? How many 5s do I have here? 1. So I need 3. Okay. How many x's do I have here? 1. How many more do I need? 3. So what I do on the bottom, I also have to do up here on the top. Okay. So up there on the top, I have the fourth root of 6 times 5 cubed times x cubed. Do not multiply that out at this point. Okay, we will eventually, but not right now. In the bottom, I have the fourth root of 5 to what power? The fourth. X to what power? The fourth. Good. So now real quick, as I look along the top, is there anything that is in a group of 4? No, they're all 3s, right? Or something else. So that means I can't take anything out. So on your calculator, I need you to do for me 6 times 5 times 5 times 5. So what is 6 times 5 times 5 times 5?
750.
750. And then notice I've still got an x cubed inside because you can only take it out if there's 4. Now on the bottom, the fourth root of 5 to the fourth, what will that give me? What will this, 5, that'll give me 5. What will the fourth root of x to the fourth give me? X. We've gotten rid of the square root and we're done.
That was crazy.
Alrighty, so now we're going to get started.
You have to put
Okay.
x in absolute value since it was 2 evens and an odd.
Yes, good call. Okay, even, even, odd. Nice job catching that. Okay? Alright, so here's what I need you to work on. Page 419, just 18 through 25 all. Okay? 8 problems. And then what we'll do is on Monday, we'll continue with this and hopefully finish the section. You're looking at a test end of next week. So,
Okay, so how is this gonna help us in real life?